The fountain on this poster is at Gaines Triangle, 6th and Halyard, named for a couple who devoted years of service to young people on the north side. To the fountain's north and east, custom-designed homes and large lots give this unique Milwaukee neighborhood a distinctive suburban flavor.
I moved here in '81, and I chose this area because I wanted to stay in the intercity, and it's actually named after my uncle, the Halyards, which I am a Halyard.
Her uncle was Wilbur Halyard. He and his wife Artie moved here in 1923. Concerned about housing and social conditions, they became leaders in the black community and organized Columbia Savings and Loan. Halyard Street, created by the new expressway in the mid-1960s, was named after them in 1965.
This is a couple that was very interested in helping the Negroes and to help them to get homes and to help them to improve themselves. People that would like to have a nice place to live, you're going to work at it. And this is what we have decided to do here in Halyard Park.
The neighborhood was among the oldest in the city. In 1972, the Milwaukee Redevelopment Authority began to buy and demolish the old homes in the Halyard Renewal area. A freeze on federal funds halted the program in 1974. Enter Beachy Brooks, the man most closely identified with Halyard Park.
I've always said that the central city is the hub of the wheel. The city is the wheel and the central city is the hub. Our hubs are failing, and if we don't do something to correct them, we're going to be out and gone. And I said that I think it's going to take the people that's within the hub to rebuild the hub.
It wasn't easy, but Brooks persisted with his dream to build new single-family, privately financed homes. His United Realty Group entered the picture. Community development funds cleared the land. And in 1977, Brooks built the first new home in Halyard Park for his own family, using his own money.
The bank said, hey, you guys are doing a nice thing down there, but we won't finance it. You guys got to find monies for it. So Columbia Savings and Loan, I had my lifetime savings over there, and I had my daughter's education funds over there, and I told them, well, I'll use that for financing. I had to do all of 6th Street myself. I was a general contractor, I was a developer, I invested my money. And after this one went well, then people started inquiring about it. People who had jobs and had savings and had lived in the community 8 and 10 years and had some kind of history behind them, they started inquiring about it, and then Columbia Savings and Loan said, hey, wait a minute, we want to look at that. We'd be interested in doing some more financing over there.
From 1977 to 1985, Halyard Park changed from an area of old houses and vacant lots to a new community. 42 homes with the same kind of styles and architecture you'll find in any middle to upper income subdivision. Most of the new homeowners were from the area.
I never dreamed that investors would be as serious about coming in, putting down big payments and building nice properties and maintaining them, staying with them. It's unbelievable what people can do when they get an opportunity to do.
Homeowners here belong to the Halyard Park Neighborhood Association. Its president moved into his new home in 1985.
Well, the thing that really interests me the most, it was convenient, downtown, to the bus stops, and everything that I needed was just here. And it gave me the opportunity, it gave us the opportunity to design the type house that we want, to do the type landscaping that we want. See, because I like doing this.
Many residents of Halyard Park think this experiment could work in other areas.
Sure it could. If the people will put forth effort and do what they can, sure it can be done anywhere.
But my feeling is the same as when I moved here. I wanted to have some input as to the type of home that I was going to buy. I didn't want to go into a neighborhood where I could have gone anywhere and bought a home.
The man who started it all would also like to see this happen elsewhere, but he says it's unlikely.
Developers make big money doing this stuff. They don't monkey around with peanuts like I was doing. That's why it won't happen, because there's not enough profit in it. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
We may not see another Halyard Park, the first example of how new life was possible in the Central City, but the idea is flourishing, with many new and revitalized homes being developed in other Milwaukee neighborhoods. The convertible roof stadium known as Miller Park is getting most of the publicity these days, with a countdown underway to an opening next April. But look toward downtown, and you'll see a great deal of activity.
It's exciting, isn't it? There's quite a renovation going on, a lot of revitalization happening right now in Milwaukee. There have been a number of catalytic projects that are really helping to spur this. Certainly one is the convention center. The Riverwalk is a very important catalytic project for our downtown. We think it's a really successful example of government doing what it does best, putting in the infrastructure that really has helped spur development all along the Riverwalk.
The Midwest Express Center's second phase is well underway. Convention business is already way up, and the complex has sparked additional downtown hotel development. A multi-million-dollar renovation is underway at the Milwaukee Hilton. 200 rooms are being added, along with a skywalk to the Midwest Center. Nearby, a courtyard by Marriott Hotel is being constructed. The 169-room facility is connected to the Grand Avenue Retail Center. Newer properties include the Hotel Metro, which opened its 65 rooms in a converted office building in 1998. The 100-room in-town Best Western also opened in another converted office building last year. Plans are underway to convert this office building into a 100-room Howard Johnson Express Inn. The former Marshall Field building may house a 131-room Marriott Residence Inn, plus offices and stores. And this recently cleared site at 6th and Kilbourne could be the site of a future convention hotel and commercial complex.
What you have is a commitment from people to invest in the city, not just because it's good for the city, but because they can make money on it. And that's probably the best reason to invest, because it means they're going to be here long term, and that the commitment is not just to the community in that sense, it's to a place to develop and do business.
The development momentum is also affecting tourist attractions, such as the stunning $35 million addition to the Milwaukee Art Museum. The project, designed by Santiago Calatrava, will be one of a kind and is sure to bring in visitors from around the world. The Potawatomi Bingo Casino is proceeding with a $119 million expansion just south of downtown. Newcomers include the Humphrey IMAX Dome Theater with its 6-story wraparound screen, the Betty Bryn Children's Museum, rated one of the top 10 children's museums in the country. On the drawing board, the $30 million Harley-Davidson Experience Center, to be built in Schlitz Park north of downtown.
Some people like to refer to it as high noon in the city of Milwaukee, and I tend to agree with that. There's a tremendous amount of energy right now being exerted, a good civic pride, good positive energy that's being exerted to thump our chests a little bit and tell the world that Milwaukee is a great place. And certainly all the wonderful construction that's taking place is a testament to that pride.
The revitalization is also bolstered by housing, so people can live within walking distance of work and attractions. Construction is underway on the Library Hill Apartments, 139 units on the west side of downtown. Over 1,000 other housing units have been built or are under construction downtown, a mix of housing types, most in former office or warehouse space, about 1/4 of them on the river. Mixed-use developments like City Hall Square are also a part of what's happening downtown. It includes a new office building now under construction, development of 9 historic commercial buildings, and a 161-unit housing complex, which opened in 1998. Projects recently completed or underway amount to an unprecedented $500 million investment in downtown Milwaukee.
What's happening is that People are falling in love with urban life again. The keys to making that happen are reducing crime and reducing it even further than we already have, holding down the cost of living by not having exorbitant taxes, and the other thing, of course, is to enjoy the quality of life, the culture, the people. The fact that all these different kinds of people live in this community makes it an interesting place to be.
And the momentum is expected to continue. A downtown master plan envisions such changes as distinctive landscaping along major streets like Kilbourne Avenue, a revitalization of the Wisconsin Avenue corridor, a proposed public market district in the 3rd Ward, residential, entertainment, and mixed-use developments proposed on lands now beneath the Park East Freeway.
The master plan is important because we have so much going on. We want to make sure that it's planned and really fits with the future that our public wants to see for the city. And so our downtown plan is a way for the public to tell us what they want to see happening for the future of Milwaukee. If you think of Milwaukee, our downtown is really the engine that makes the city go. And if we have a healthy downtown, that helps us to have very healthy neighborhoods as well. So we think it's really important to have a vital and exciting downtown.
Hello, how's it going today?
Fine.
Excellent. I love people. I love helping people. I like working with people. It's just kind of refreshing, I'd say. I saw the ad in the paper, and I was looking for some sort of security work. And once I actually saw that it said public service ambassadors and you could walk or bike, I'm like, oh, it's right up my alley.
Johnson is one of 24 public service ambassadors who put a friendly face on downtown Milwaukee. Their job is to make you feel comfortable coming here and help you find your way around once you get downtown. They are paid by the Downtown Milwaukee Management District.
We represent 120 square blocks in downtown Milwaukee, which includes 400 property owners. And it's really the property owners in downtown Milwaukee who have taken the initiative and the leadership on this program. And it's really to focus on quality of life issues in downtown Milwaukee. And again, clean, safe, and friendly is our focus. Well, we recognized that we had to do something to make downtown Milwaukee more competitive in terms of retaining businesses and in recruiting new businesses, and also to become more competitive with our counterparts. And really addressing these quality of life issues was identified as the most important thing.
This is the 2nd year for the program. The ambassadors bike and walk downtown streets in overlapping shifts from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m., 7 days a week year-round. You'll recognize them by their distinctive uniforms and fanny packs full of maps, information, and first aid supplies. They have no police powers, but some have police training. Andrea Morrissey was a military police officer and has an associate degree in police science.
I started to pursue local law enforcement as far as like interviews and things like that, and I thought this would be a good stepping stone to move into something like that. It would give me the experience of not only public relations, but just the diversity that you encounter when you're out on the streets of Milwaukee.
The ambassadors carry radios to allow quick contact with police or paramedics if needed. Police help train them in assisting crime victims, dealing with the homeless, administering first aid, and CPR.
I've never had a problem personally with anybody on the streets. Everybody's been real friendly. Of course, we're out there as goodwill ambassadors, so we're out there smiling, actually approaching people, seeing if they need help. I've had positive interaction with everyone that I've encountered so far. I've been pretty fortunate. All of us have actually. The public has been more than receptive to us.
Another facet of the downtown district's effort to make visitors comfortable involves clean sweep ambassadors. They concentrate on sweeping and washing sidewalks and riverwalks, removing graffiti, and just generally keeping the streets clean and sanitary.
Our basic job is to get the garbage. That's what we primarily do. I think we do a pretty good job at it. I think it's important to keep the downtown area clean. It's just a little thing, and I think we're gradually have been noticed more and more. We try to keep Milwaukee more presentable to the everyday people, the business people that are down here, and to a lot of the people who are coming into town, especially with the new Midwest Express Center. We get a lot of visitors from out of town. So our job is to try to give them a presentable environment down here, downtown to visit.
The dozen Clean Sweep ambassadors pick up about 10 50-gallon bags of trash a day, and they'd welcome your help.
I think they already are. I think when they see our guys coming, they make a natural thing to make a little trip to the garbage can to put that soda can or bottle in there, or that paper cup, whatever it might be. But I think it's something a lot of people are aware of. But yeah, anybody, next time you want to throw a wrapper on the ground, think about that. And sometimes it's only a couple steps away, that garbage can, and it helps out a lot.
The Business Improvement District also helps pay for landscaping along the Milwaukee River and downtown streets, and for the bright red trolleys that loop around the downtown in the summer. All ways in which the city and business community provide an inviting atmosphere.
The community has really embraced the project. They've taken ownership of it. It's all been very positive. We've really, I believe, addressed what we wanted to with our goals of making downtown Milwaukee more clean, safe, and friendly, which has helped us in overcoming some of the negative perceptions that exist out there.
Worst negative could be a simple, I don't have time, and they keep on moving, which is perfectly understandable. But typically people are saying, hello, they'll at least say hi and how are you? How's it going?
Our program is now being looked at as the perfect public service ambassador program throughout the country.
Hey, how are you doing? So, all right.
The renewal of the Milwaukee River and the shaping of its role as a tourist destination is well underway. The downtown Riverwalk system, a $10 million network of waterfront pathways and plazas, is nearing completion. Most of the segments will be finished by the middle of July, and a grand opening has been scheduled for the end of August.
Though the whole Riverwalk system has taken longer than a lot of people would have liked, I think the end product was worth the wait. It's an absolute first-class system, and it's going to provide both the property owners along the river and downtown Milwaukee with tremendous opportunities in the next 3 to 5 years.
Making the Milwaukee River more appealing and accessible is an idea that's been around for a long time. This urban waterway historically was important to our economy. It served as an important transportation route, a recreational attraction. Beckstein's Swimming School was a popular business on the river in the early 1900s. At the same time, many people used the river to get to another well-known attraction, the Halyard Park Pavilion. The boat traveler could stop at the Wonderland on the river, amusement park. But lifestyle changes and river pollution changed our view of this natural resource. Around 1920, prominent Milwaukee architect Alfred Claus proposed a European-style design for a downtown river segment. He suggested narrowing the river, placing streets on each side of it, adding promenades and other improvements. The plan received much applause, but like many others over the years, was ignored. Riverfront development received its major push in late 1993 when the Common Council and Mayor approved the Riverwalk initiative. Construction has been proceeding ever since. Not even a Milwaukee winter could stop the progress. With snow on the precast segments and ice in the river, workers continued to connect the walkways earlier this year. Eventually, the Riverwalk will cover 11 blocks, stretching from Cherry to Clybourne Streets. The most visible project last year was at Pier Marquette Park. Some see this site as the hub of the emerging Riverwalk system. Now nearly all the Riverwalk is in some state of development. There are over 20 segments. The city, which required that Milwaukee residents be given priority for construction jobs associated with the project, is paying about 80% of the cost. The other 20% comes from waterfront property owners and businesses.
I personally think from our experience of being here now for about 6, 7 years that possibly some of us, like us, were about 4, 5, 6 years ahead of schedule. With the advent of the Wisconsin Center, Convention Center, in addition to Bradley Center and the Riverwalk, within 2, 3, 4 years, downtown Milwaukee and the river itself will be a showcase for all of Wisconsin and certainly for the city of Milwaukee.
Over the last few years, there's been a lot more activity along the river. The city-sponsored River Splash celebration, which observed its 6th anniversary this year, showed that people would be willing to make the river a destination. The Schlitz Park development with its finger piers for boaters, the shopping opportunities along the Milwaukee Center walkway during River Splash are examples of the kinds of improvements and attractions we'll be seeing throughout the downtown area. People are coming back to live along the river. The River House condominiums are one example. Other buildings are being converted to apartments. Riverfront Plaza, a completely rehabilitated commercial building, is among the success stories.
Jerry Fogelson, the owner of the Riverfront Plaza building, it was his idea to create a partnership of the Edelweisses. And he got the idea from touring Europe and knowing that the river in Milwaukee was totally neglected and some new life like the Edelweiss, and then subsequently the creation of the Milwaukee Riverwalk district to improve the environment along the river in form of a river walk like in Europe or like in San Antonio. These events indeed were attempting to bring Milwaukee together.
Riverbank Plaza is another visible section of Riverwalk development. The $1 million project will ultimately include a nationally recognized restaurant, boat slips, and docking space among its planned improvements.
We've always historically been a bank location, and we are now going to turn that into take advantage of what the city has given us with this beautiful deck. We're going to get a national restaurant in here. So you're going to see, and you will see it, a 9,000 square foot restaurant that'll occupy our first floor. We have about an additional $200,000 of improvements yet to do. We'll have a grand staircase coming down to the Riverwalk deck. We're going to be constructing a $112,000 copper roofed Four Seasons room, which will give people the opportunity to enjoy the river year-round.
Much has been done, but much work remains. Some areas have no walkways, but officials are confident problems in those areas will be resolved. Planners are still looking at final design and funding options for the planned pedestrian bridge at Highland Avenue. The river itself isn't as clean as we would like, but the Deep Tunnel Pollution Control Project and other actions have improved its quality. Many factors shape the revival of the Milwaukee River, and combined with convention center expansion and other downtown activities, it's hoped the entire Riverwalk system will serve as an economic magnet, drawing area residents and tourists, making the downtown more appealing and unifying the many attractions along the banks of the river.